Hey there, and welcome. I am very interested in chatting with you about this subject. If you've been living under a rock and or just don't have any interest in the stock market, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've read anything, seen the news, or have any small interest in the stock market, then you know all about Melvin Capital and their massive losses in and around GameStop and Wall Street bets. And it got me thinking, as a business owner, what are some things that we can learn from this whole scenario? So today, I'm going to cover 3 things that you can learn from the GameStop, Melvin Capital, and Wall Street bet situation that's going on right now. So let's dive right into it. Number 3 on my list is expect the unexpected. Now, this was actually a big reason I started this channel. If you've been following along in my career, I actually started a YouTube channel all about making or video games, and it was like my Twitch clips and how to beat bosses and things like that. But about a year ago, when COVID struck, I was met with a very interesting decision, and that was I have this skill set. I've built several businesses in the digital realm around my passions, and hoarding information is dumb. It's basically what it came down to. So I decided that I wanted to share with everybody how to build businesses around your passions. And the unexpected thing that happened was COVID, right? So many people were left without jobs or multiple streams of income. And so when they lost their job, they didn't have any backup plans and they were in a really, really, really bad place. And with Melvin Capital and GameStop and Wall Street bets, Melvin Capital had no idea that people would just start buying GameStop stock and they would go all in on it and be caught, frankly, with their pants down. And they just weren't planned accordingly. So, what can that teach you in and around being a business owner? Well, I like to say put yourself in a position where you have nothing to lose. And for most people, the first thought that comes to mind is hit rock bottom and now you have nothing more to lose because you have nothing to begin with. And for some people, that might be the truth. And you just have to face that reality and understand I am at rock bottom. I really have nothing else to lose. And when you're backed into a corner like that, you'll find fight that you've never found before. But that's not really what I'm talking about. And that is some motivation for some people, and I'll completely recognize that, but that is not what I'm advocating for. I do not want people to hit rock bottom, find themselves in a corner, and have to fight their way out. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I want you to create a situation where if you lose, it's not the end of the world. And there's many, many different ways to do that. One of the easiest ways is just take it slow, right? Build a slow roll on your business. Don't over-index yourself. Don't spend too much money. Don't, break the bank, take out a second mortgage on your house. Slow roll your business, right? Start small, scale as you can afford to do so. That's a really great way to create a no-lose situation. You still have your day job, you still have your 401k, you still have another source of income. It's not all or nothing on this business. And so you really have nothing to lose, right? There's nothing to lose to try. And there's so many different ways that you can do that. Another one I really like is pilot programs, test products. If you want to test a new product or a new idea, order small, find a manufacturer, do a small order, test the product, test the market, right? Spend a few dollars on advertisement on a holder website and directing advertisement to that holder website. See if there's interest through a sign-on list or a waiting list around your product or service. You can, again, start small in those situations or start with just your local community and see if there's any interest, giving away maybe a product or service for free to start so that you can build a portfolio, gain interest, and then leverage that. Another great thing is just building maybe another more viable income stream to help support your target income stream. One of my favorites is flipping. I actually have a little side business where I flip books in electronics. So flipping those books in electronics and products to allow me more money to, really focus in on my passion is another way that you can set yourself up to really be in a no-lose situation. Because if it fails, it's not going to ruin you. It's not going to put you into the dumps, make you homeless. It's not going to ruin you. So create these situations and systems in which you are truly in a no-lose situation. And that's what I mean. Don't put yourself into a corner. Don't give yourself the hit rock bottom. But create a system where it's safe to fail and that you can fail multiple times. And you'll see these stories across, successful companies where Fubu, for instance, he had failed several times. He kept his job working at Red Lobster, where he just probably worked there longer than he needed to, but he wanted to have a safety net for if Fubu failed. And that's a really, really great story. Something to keep in mind. Keep your job or keep another source of income or leverage something that you might not want to do that can make you money to allow you to invest in a thing that you do want to do. So leverage a system that will not let you fail. And one other note on that is have backup plans. You're going to fail. I've made many, many videos and Instagram posts and TikToks. Like, you're going to fail in business, but make sure that those failures are micro failures. If they're cataclysmic failures, that might happen too. But if you can control more of the pieces and parts, you can really help yourself fail small. So that risk to reward ratio, right? Okay, if I fail, it's only one step back, but if I win, it's 4 steps forward. So those micro failures can really help you learn, refine. And a lot of times you can fail forward. So I might have failed. I didn't achieve the actual goal that I wanted to achieve, but I still made some progress. Number 2, do not invest in the imaginary. So without getting too deep into the stock market and trading and all of these different ways that you can trade. Basically, what happened was Melvin Capital floated a bunch of shorts. And basically that means they were gambling on stocks that didn't exist by over 40%. And there is some normalization that people have put in place where, that number is actually much lower if you normalize it out over a large time period. But the reality is, in a moment in time, they were over leveraging the number of stocks that existed. So say GameStop only had 100 stocks to begin with. They were over leveraging by an additional 40 stocks than what actually existed. And they were betting that the stock would go down. So that's selling a short. And so not only were they investing in something that didn't exist by nearly 40% from all stocks in existence, and do keep in mind they didn't actually own all stocks in existence to begin with, so that number is actually a bit larger if you think about it, because they may have only owned 50% of the stocks, and 50% were out amongst the public somewhere. And so it's just a crazy thing to think about. And this is a legit system to float various stocks, but this one was one of the most massively floated stocks. and basically they were investing in something that wasn't real. So my caution to you as a business owner is be cautious of snake oil. Be cautious of things that don't actually exist. And this can be several different things if you really want to think about it. One thing is, you might be super passionate about something. You might really, really, really enjoy a particular craft or conducting a particular service, but the market might not exist. So if you put all of your time and energy into a product or service that doesn't exist, or having a platform around a message that nobody cares about, you're not going to see any growth. And do keep in mind, I do feel a niche product or service is where money is at nowadays. So getting niche is important. But for instance, if your passion is chimney sweeping, you're going to be hard pressed to find a market for chimney sweeping. Does it exist? Sure. Does it exist where you live and where you want to be? Maybe not. Maybe you have to go somewhere else to find a market for that particular service. But it's important to understand, is there a market for what I'm trying to do, either be it a service, a product, or a platform with a message? People have to care, people have to want that product and service. So don't invest in the imaginary. It is important to understand where your audience is, where your consumer is one particular point. I also say be careful, right? If it's too good to be true, it probably is. So if you're out there trying to, sell a product or service and you're sourcing materials for that product or service, and there is just a hell of a deal that you can't believe that you stumbled upon, be very, very cautious. It is probably not real, right? You found a manufacturer that's making this particular part or piece that you need for 90% less than what everybody else is making it for. There's probably a reason. So learn from Melvin Capital. Don't invest in the imaginary. If you're going to do so, please don't do it in such an extreme way that it's going to lead us to our next point. Number one thing that you can learn from this whole Melvin Capital, GameStop, Wall Street Bets situation is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Really analyze your risk to reward ratio. So note I have here, it was nearly 53% loss in investments that Melvin Capital realized because of the short squeeze that they went through. They were over-indexed, over-invested in a particular stock portfolio in this case. So for you as a business owner, what does that mean? I think part of it means, circling back to the first point I made, don't create a no-lose situation for yourself, but don't put yourself at rock bottom or in a corner. Like the only way for you to exist is to make this work. That's putting all of your eggs in one basket. This also means creating diversified income. Even as a business owner, yes, this whole platform is helping you build a business around your passions and specifically in the digital realm. But if that's the only thing you're going to do, you're still going to find yourself in a situation when the unexpected occurs, right? Maybe not another pandemic, but maybe something else occurs and now there's no interest in your product or service. Well, all of your eggs were in one basket. So creating diversified income streams with healthy diversity where you're not over-indexed in any particular area is going to create the most comfort for you. So say you have 5 streams of income and one of those just completely disappears. Well, in that case, you only lost 20% of your income versus maybe the other 4 still active. I still have 80% of my income. Yes, did I take a 20% hit? Ouch, that hurts, but you're not ruined, right? You're creating systems of income. And that is going to be one of the most important messages I can communicate to anybody is create systems of income in portfolio. And there's so many different ways to create those portfolios. It can be your day job with a 401k and maybe like a Roth, or you have a rental property that you maintain, or you have a couple side businesses that can bring in various incomes that are in 2 different industries or maybe supporting industries, but their go-to market routes are very different. And now all of a sudden you have 4, 5, 6, 7 different streams of income, and there's multiple different ways to do that, including the stock market. There are safe ways to invest in ETFs and index funds that are slow rolling, kind of boring stuff, but they will produce returns for you year in and year out. And so keeping things like that in mind is, how can I create systems of income? And I know this is hard, right? And you can speak from a position of, I already have money or I have no money to get this started. And it might start with just one source of income. But then as soon as you start building cash flow, start thinking, how can I create more diverse channels? How can I create another stream of income? And you want to try to get away from exchanging time for money as quick as you can, right? You want your money to start doing work for you. And I know it's very hard. And I know that, coming up with those ideas initially, like, hey, how can I even get $20 to start my flipping business? Can be some of the biggest steps and hardest hurdles to overcome. And I promise you there are ways, and we're going to talk about these again over a multitude of videos, but my interest really is around helping you not only get this off the ground, but lower that barrier of entry into business ownership and creating additional streams of income so that you can create that portfolio and not have to take as big a hit if the unexpected has occurred. So at the end of the day, we can learn from even the most professional of individuals, the most, solidified institutes out there. And that's, stock market and hedge fund managers that whole job is to make money, and still they can make mistakes. So that should also tell you, be prepared. Failure will occur, mistakes will happen, but it's all about mitigating those as much as you can, establishing a good risk to reward ratio, always trying to make the risk less than the reward so that when you win, you can make up for any previous mistakes, but continue to build that portfolio. So I hope you enjoyed this slightly fun video where we're poking fun at the existing economic climate here in the US around these hedge fund managers and Melvin Capital and Gamestop and Wall Street bets. But I think at the end of the day, there's some really important lessons that you can learn as a business owner. So I appreciate you hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button. I don't charge any money or services. I just am looking to help you build your business in the digital realm. And if you want to be alerted when I post a new video, also hit the bell. I post a video every week on Tuesday where you can come and see what message. We're talking all about building businesses and top of funnel activities. And who knows? Who knows what ideas we're going to come up with over the year. But again, I appreciate you. So until next time, take it easy.